I'm Baylor men's basketball coach Scott Drew, and you're watching Big12Sports.com.
Welcome to this week's Big 12 Report presented by Dr. Pepper. I'm Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com correspondent, joined this week by my co-host, Cassandra Novi.
Well, whenever we talk about great football players, the ones that come to mind are the amazing quarterbacks or the wide receiver who makes the game-winning catch. But what about the guys who are least publicized on the depth chart? Here's William Draper with a look at the Big 12 men who put in the long hours to become the snappers and holders on the football team.
A football team is divided into offense, defense, and special teams. On the special teams, there is a three-man unit that only gets attention if it messes up: the snapper, the holder, and the kicker.
That's the goal for a long snapper. I mean, everybody I've talked to, if no one knows who you are, that usually means you're doing a pretty good job.
That's kind of one of the jokes of the position. It's like, it's one of those things is, hey, if no one knows who you are, you're doing your job right. Because the moment you sail one, the moment you skip one, then everybody knows your name. Everybody wants to ask you questions about what happened.
While the kicker gets the credit and the points when he makes the football split the uprights, he relies heavily on the snapper and holder to make the process seamless.
Every day, me, Victor McBride, and Ryan Doherty, our kicker, go off every day before practice and make sure that we have our rhythm. We've been together now for almost a year and a half now together. And it's one of those things that it takes a long time to build trust up with your holder, with your kicker, so we have a timing mechanism so we can make sure we make a good enough time that we don't have any block issues, as well as to make sure that our kicker is comfortable kicking the ball.
Yeah, well, every day we're practicing. We get out there about a half hour before the team, and we've got 7 to 8 set spots that we'll do just by ourselves, and we'll have 4 live snaps with the team. So we get plenty of reps in there just to make sure it runs smooth.
Yeah, we focus a lot this summer on mental conditioning is what we call it, and it's just working to eliminate distractions and get yourself in the zone to focus right.
In addition to snapping for extra points and field goals, some deep snappers are also involved with snapping on punts. That requires a 15-yard spiral launched between the legs and upside down.
I jog up there, get down, kind of get my hands on my knees, look back at the punter, take a deep breath, get the ball set, and then we go when the up back says ready or he checks it off. So I usually just have to listen to him, but I just take a deep breath usually and kind of tune everything else out and focus on where I want to hit my aiming point on the punter. So
last year, Corey Adams finished a 4-year career as Kansas State's deep snapper. He finished with 483 perfect snaps, and his record is something to which all deep snappers aspire to.
Corey Adams was a great snapper, and I knew him personally from football camps. He actually coached me a couple times at camp. And so knowing that story is one of those things you kind of inspire to do. You look up to those guys that, just continue to do our art, what it is.
Well, from snappers and kickers to bowl-eligible teams, what game should we be tuning in this week for Thanksgiving?
Well, we're going to talk about Texas making the 90-mile trip to College Station to play Texas A&M in what might be the last game in a rivalry that started in 1894. The Aggies' move to the Southeastern Conference has put this series in jeopardy. The Longhorns are struggling to score. Their 35 touchdowns rank next to last in the Big 12. In their last 28 offensive possessions, Texas has scored 1 touchdown. Texas A&M comes to the game coming off a 61-7 victory over Kansas. The Aggies are averaging 41 points a game, and the Ryan connection, Ryan Tannehill to Ryan Swope, is a tough combination to stop. Texas Tech and Baylor played last season in the Cotton Bowl. This Saturday, they'll meet at another neutral site, Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The Red Raiders need a win to gain bowl eligibility. Since 1996, the first year of the Big 12, Texas Tech has been to a bowl game every year. The Red Raiders have lost 4 in a row for the first time since 1993. Baylor is suddenly in position to finish with 9 victories in the regular season, and quarterback Robert Griffin III has put himself in the middle of the Heisman Trophy race. Here's a complete look at this week's schedule. As mentioned, Texas is at Texas A&M at 7 p.m. on Thursday, and there are 3 games Saturday with 2 being played at neutral sites. Iowa State looks to pull off another big upset when it plays at Oklahoma at 11 a.m. Saturday. Kansas and Missouri meet in Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium at 2:30 p.m. Saturday, and Texas Tech and Baylor will meet at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas at 6 p.m. Saturday.
Well, after this week's action, I know I can't wait to see what you have in store for your shout-outs. What do you have to tell the folks at home?
Well, there were 2 football games over the weekend that were worthy of storm-the-field endings. Iowa State's double overtime upset of second-ranked Oklahoma State proved that, yes, you can fit 50,000 fans on a football field. The victory was the Cyclones' first in 59 tries against a top 5 team. And Baylor ended a 20-game losing streak against Oklahoma with a scintillating 45-38 upset of the Sooners. The post-game mosh pit at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco featured a Gatorade shower celebration that was aimed at Robert Griffin III, but wound up soaking Baylor Sports Information Director Heath Nielsen and ESPN sideline reporter Aaron Andrews. And here's video of our Big 12 Report Fan of the Year, a Baylor fan storming the field on crutches. Outstanding effort. And shout out number 2, top-ranked Baylor won the preseason WNIT championship with a 94-81 victory over number 2 Notre Dame Sunday in Waco. Brittany Griner, who was named the MVP of the 16-team tournament, had 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots. And number 6 Texas A&M coach Gary Blair recorded the 600th victory of his career when the Aggies knocked off Mississippi State 93-47 in College Station on Sunday. 192 of Blair's victories have come at Texas A&M. And for my last shout out, Oklahoma State is the second Big 12 team to reach the Elite 8 in the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament in consecutive years. The Cowgirls knocked off Maryland 1-0 Sunday in Stillwater. It was the 18th shutout this season for Oklahoma State, and the second-seeded Cowgirls are now 22-1-2 on the season and will next face number 1 national overall seed Stanford at 9 p.m. Friday in Stanford, California.
And we wish them the best of luck. Thanks for watching this week's show, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
And before we sign off, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Oklahoma State family for the loss of Cowgirls head basketball coach Kurt Butke and assistant coach Miranda Cerna.